Hello, my name is John and I work for Pathmaker Plumbing. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about leak detecting toilet dye tabs, what they are, what their function is, and more importantly, how you can use them to detect common problems homeowners face with their toilet fixtures. A toilet leak detecting dye tab is exactly what it sounds like. It's a tablet that dyes the water in your toilet tank a certain color so that you can see if you have any of that water seeping into your toilet bowl. When the tank is full, there should be no water seeping into the toilet bowl unless it's being flushed. I'm going to be demonstrating today how to use these tablets, and also I'm going to be creating common problems homeowners face with their toilet fixtures so that you can see how to properly detect and fix these problems. Let's get started. So here we have a modified toilet with a clear front so that you can see inside the tank as well as inside the toilet bowl. Here are our toilet dye tabs. To use these, you simply drop one of them inside the tank until it's fully dissolved, then come back and check. You'll be able to see if any water from the tank is seeping into the bowl because the water in the tank will now be blue. So we'll drop one of these in and then come back when it's fully dissolved. So now we can clearly see that there is a leak coming from the tank to the bowl. The next step would be to figure out where exactly it's coming from and what's causing it. So now that I've cut the water supply off and drained the toilet, I can have a closer look at the inside. Common problems that might cause the tank to leak into the toilet bowl would be this flapper right here. Sometimes they wear out, they go bad, they don't close all the way, and that will cause water to leak. Another problem might be the chain connecting the handle to the flapper. It might be too long and it's kinking. It might be too short and it's not letting the flapper close properly. Another problem could be the O-ring that connects this overflow shaft on the flush valve. Those can go bad and they're pretty simple to replace. So if I take the flapper off, we can have a look at it. And upon inspection, there doesn't appear to be anything wrong with this. But if we look closer here, which is why it's always a good idea to inspect the flush valve thoroughly when you're changing a flapper, if you think the flapper's the problem, we can see that there is a notch, a small gap where something's chipped out the edge of this. And we can see right here that something has notched that out, and it's going to prevent the flapper from making a proper seal and preventing water from going inside the toilet bowl. So the solution to that problem is to change out and replace this entire flush valve, and I can show you how to do that right now. So the first thing we want to do is remove this tank from the bowl. And the easiest way to do that is to use a wrench to undo the tank to bowl connections from underneath the toilet. Now that we have the tank off, we're going to want to undo this plastic nut with some channel locks or pliers so that we can remove the old flush valve and this rubber gasket and put a new one in. And once you have that undone, it should pop right out. So here is the new flush valve that we're going to be installing. And all you're going to want to do is remove this plastic nut that comes with it. The old one had one just like it. And you're going to insert the new flush valve into the hole where the old one was sitting. Just like that. And now you're going to want to take that rubber gasket and reinsert it on those threads. Back into the holes. Just like that. Then you're going to want to take that plastic nut and screw it on as tightly as you can. Next, we're going to reinsert our tank to bowl connectors Now we can reset the tank onto the toilet bowl and tighten up those nuts that connect the bolts. And you just want to make sure that they're tight enough so that water can't leak, but you don't want to over tighten to the point where those washers can crack the porcelain. The next thing we're going to do is make sure that this new flapper is connected properly to the toilet handle. Now, if there's too much slack in this chain, it can cause it to kink, preventing this flapper from shutting all the way. So you want to take some needle nose pliers and remove any excess links. Next, you're going to want to make sure that this rubber hose for the fill valve is going inside the flush valve hole. Now that the water supply is reconnected and turned on, we can drop another dye tab in the tank to see if there are any more leaks. Now that the tab is fully dissolved and I've let this sit for about 10 minutes, we can see that our flush valve is working properly and there's no leakage. However, you do want to make sure that you let this water sit for at least 10 minutes because sometimes the leaks are very slow and you won't notice unless you do let it sit. So right here we have the old flush valve that was sitting in the tank just like this. And the most common problem that you're going to find when trying to figure out where the leak is coming from is this flapper, which is easily replaceable. You just want to make sure you have the right size. The most common sizes are 2 and 3 inch, and it comes off just like that. And then you can just put the new one on, connect it to these little hooks on the side, and you want to make sure you have the right length on this chain. If it's too long, the chain could kink and stop this flapper from closing properly. If it's too short, it won't close all the way because there's too much tension. Another problem that's common with these flush valves is the rubber gasket on the bottom side. Now this goes inside the tank and sometimes it can wear out and cause a leak. And again, this one is very easily replaceable. You just want to make sure you have the right size and it fits on the bottom just like that. Now the last one I want to talk about is if you remove the top portion of this overflow shaft on the flush valve, you'll see 2 rubber O-rings. And these again can sometimes wear out and cause a leak. Now that we've gone over some common problems and solutions, you want to make sure that if you try any of these methods I've shown, that you check and test thoroughly for proper function of your toilet. If you end up removing and replacing the flush valve, you want to make sure that you check all the connections at the bottom of the tank for any leaks. That's it for this video. I hope it's been helpful. Thanks for watching.